barber calls, Nern obeys. Lord of domination and brutality, we sacrifice this innocent in your name. Through the power of innocent blood, bring forth your anchor and let two worlds become one. Strike
Look out for evidence of the mammoth's path and
Ha!
That's all we can do for now. Well, aren't you the bold one, running around this part of the forest? You've got to be either fearless or just plain foolhardy. Haven't you seen the undead? I'm a Vine Desk Ranger, and I'm not even sure I'm safe here. The Veiled Heritance was here raising them. They're not raising them anymore. Of course, word is that they're led by none other than Prince Naaman, or whatever dark entity has assumed his form. Seems the prince was raised too. Couldn't say, but the problem right now isn't the prince. It's the damned Blackroot clan, cruel in life and downright vicious in death. We can't get through them. Indoneer seems to have some ideas, though. You want to help? You should talk to him. You know, he comes and goes. Oh, yeah, there he is.
Did she tell you? One of the greatest mysteries of Valenwood has finally been solved. Decades of conflicting rumors have been put to rest. We finally know what happened to the Blackroot clan. They died, right here in Verlaine. Yes, this shade that's assumed the form of the late Prince Naaman is behind this, but he's not here. And it's true, mysteries aside, we need to put the Blackroot clan back to rest. But the Rangers are exhausted. Are you willing to help me? The Blackroot clan warriors are even more bloodthirsty in death than they were in life. But there are also other spirits here, glimmers from the past, crying out for help. I think they're trying to show us something. We need to watch them. for the glimmers of the past I spoke of. Hopefully they will help us figure out how to put the black... What's that over there?
Elfirion, General Malgoth and the rest of the Black Root troops are almost upon us.
No, that plan is madness!
Silence, Glonia. Our sacrifice today will ensure our sister villages live on.
Here's another scene. Let's watch.
Elfie, I can't do this. I'm scared. I don't want to die.
It's all right, Glenril. The poison itself is slow. The Black Root will have cut our throats long before you felt its effects. Here, we'll drink it together, and I'll fight by your side till the end.
Until the end.
Now, to battle!
Look, another one.
That's the last of them, General. The village is clear.
An easy victory. Verlaine is the first to fall, but there will be more. Now, per the meat mandate, let us feast on the fallen. Prepare the cave temple. It's a suitable place for a celebration.
General. The village is clear.
An easy victory. Verlaine is the first to fall, but there will be more.
another one.
General Morgoth, the troops, half of them are dead. The other half
are dying, including us. This is poison. The villagers poisoned themselves to poison us.
What do you mean?
The meat mandate, you idiot. Elthyria knew she couldn't win on the field, but she'll still manage victory. To the Nereid Temple. Perhaps we can beg a cure.
Here's another scene.
Rise, my soldiers. Back to your bodies and take
Why
up
do you
arms.
command us from the ooze?
A powerful one, unknown to me, has stolen my bow. It invoked the right of theft and commanded we march against the Dominion.
By your command.
What a sacrifice! To think the villagers actually poisoned themselves in order to poison the Blackroot clan. It may be morbid, but it's also brilliant. Of course, that really doesn't help us return the Blackroot warriors to their graves, does it? From what I gathered, one of Naaman's servants has stolen General Malgoth's bow and compels the Blackroot clan to fight by the right of theft. What we need to do is steal the general's bow back, and then we can release him from his vows. We must rely on the scenes of the past. After being poisoned, General Malgoth went to the Nereid Temple. It's likely he died within. I suggest you go in and search for the general's remains. I'll continue searching for clues out here in the forest. Be wary in there. Nereids wield dangerous magic and can never be trusted. It's no surprise they helped the villagers in their suicidal plot. In fact, the Nereids probably consider General Malgoth's bow a prize. They will defend his remains. Desperation turns enemies into allies. The villagers knew General Malgoth and the Blackroot clan were going to attack, and they knew they couldn't win. Likely they asked the Nereids for help, and the Nereids convinced them this was the best course. Of course, Malgoth sought to unite all the Bosmer under his leadership. He led the Blackroot clan to conquer much of Valenwood during the Bosmer tribal wars. Then, one day, they just disappeared. No one knew what happened, until now. The Bosmer have always been free peoples, bound only to the green. Rarely have the tribes united under singular leadership, although for a period many, like Malgoth, tried. Most of the so-called wars were not fought at all, but won by trickery. Yes, General Malgoth had traveled far and wide. He had seen the greatness that comes to those who conquer through military might. That you'd not heard of him is a tribute to the sacrifice of the Verlaine Bosmer. Because it's in their nature. Death amuses them, and all the more when they can manipulate people into bringing about their own demise. As distasteful as it may be, the Nereids are part of the natural order. I just try to stay away from them. As barbaric as it seems, many clans still lived by the old traditions during the Bosmer tribal wars. Mind you, they didn't consume the bodies of the dead because they enjoyed the taste. It was a matter of tradition. Apparently so, though the tactics they embrace sound more like a Nereid plot than something the villagers themselves might have come up with on their own. For General Malgoth, that's apparently the case. For all his ambition, he was still a staunch traditionalist. It's actually quite impressive that his sense of honor remains intact even so many years after his death. I'd say this is a perverted case. The value that Malgoth placed on his bow alone may be enough for him to want it back. Or he may be using the right of theft as a more honorable justification for his new servitude. There was fear in his voice.
You would steal that which has already been stolen, then enter the Shadowwood and seek it, though you will find only death. Come face me if it's the bow you desire. The bow is a boon to our army. You will not have it.
Did you hear the voice? He called this the Shadowwood. It seems to be some dark realm that parallels Valenwood. If the Shade of Naaman has created this, he's more powerful than I realized. This is horrifying. We have to stop this. We have to destroy this Shadowwood, whatever it takes. There must be a focus here. Something that ties this plane to ours. Something. It's the bow! The General's bow! That has to be it! Yes, and we will have to confront it and take the bow back. That will release the General, and hopefully dispel this nightmare. There's also the spirits from the glimmers of the past we saw earlier. They are trapped here and we must release them. It's the shadow rifts that bind them here. From this side, you only need to touch the rifts to close them. That will release the spirits from their torment and weaken Naaman's grip on this place. If you'll focus on that, I'll search for the Shade. Good luck, and see you by the stones. You will soon join us and fight at Morgoth. I hope you prepared for undeath.
freed us. May Ifrit smile on you. You closed the rifts that bound us here. You must stop that shade, though. It ceased to do terrible things to Valenwood. Though I have passed on many years gone now, I still consider Valenwood my home. Thank you, and thank you again for releasing us from his grasp. To be pulled back from the rest of death and bound like this, forced to serve such darkness, it was sheer torture. Though we are dead, the people of Verlaine are in your debt.
Good luck.
Naaman warned me about you, and I prepared. You will die, and then you will serve us.
That was a harrowing experience all around. I'm glad it's over. I hope we have succeeded in weakening Naaman's grasp on Valenwood as a whole. Only one thing remains. We must deal with the spirit of General Malgoth. Yes, and since you have succeeded in stealing it, it falls on you to invoke the right of theft with the General. Whatever you ask him, he will be compelled to do. The compassionate choice would be to release the General and his army, to allow them to return to their rest. But if you prefer, you might ask them instead to turn against Naaman and aid our forces in the fight for Valenwood. The choice is yours.
So it's true then? You have retrieved my bow from the shade? My father told me, you will find your bow in an animal's bone. Before it's even carved, you will see it. Mammoth's tusk. Extraordinarily difficult to make a good bow out of, but it was just like he said. I saw it and I knew. What do you want? My army is loyal even deep within death, deep within the ooze. They would march against the sun if I commanded it. They will march against Naaman.
So you commanded the General to turn around and fight on our behalf instead? I feel sorry for the spirits of his soldiers that they remain bound here, but at least you were able to free the villagers from the Shadow Wood. We've done all we can here, but it's clear that Naaman still seeks to harm Valenwood, so our work is not finished. I suggest we spread out and search for signs of darkness. When Auriel wills it, I am certain the Green will bring us together again. Unless you have questions for me, I will soon be on my way. We should both search the forest for other signs of Naaman's corruption. I fear at some point we will have to confront Naaman himself. East. I've seen signs of corruption in both Drilladam Pass and Varant Morass. We must find a way to cleanse these places. And as I said, I expect we will eventually have to confront the shade of Naaman on this plane. It frightens me to even consider the possibility, but he might be at Hectorheim. After we've cleansed the other locations, we should go there. The sooner the better, I think. So go on and head east. The Green will ensure we find each other again. Unless you have questions for me, I will soon be on my way. We should both search the forest for other signs of Naaman's corruption. I fear at some point we will have to confront Naaman himself. A spiritual prison of a sort. Bosmer who break their oath to the Green Pact go there when they die, to reflect for an eternity. There's a place called Ours, where we bring the bodies of Oathbreakers. Some think it's a physical link to the ooze.
The hour of our glory is nigh. Razumdar forewarned me of your coming, and I have considered our circumstances carefully in light of that.
I have the utmost faith in your capabilities, and I am confident that your arrival is an augur of our victory. Indeed. We have fought alongside many of the same soldiers, and word travels quickly when it involves heroics such as those attributed to you. I have anticipated the chance to meet you in person, and I am pleased the opportunity has finally arrived. This, my friend, is the calm before the storm. Our storm. The Maoma believe that holding hostages will prevent us from taking action, but we will not allow such cowardice to determine our course. We will act, and we will act decisively. We charge into their encampment, rescue the hostages, and slaughter their commanders. This full scout we captured gave us their locations. You and Razumdar shall spearhead our attack, one of you to handle the hostages, the other on the commanders. More brave soldiers arrive soon from Marbrook. We will rally them here and prepare to launch a full-scale attack. When your task is done, light the beacon in the lighthouse. That will be our signal to charge in and drive the bastards back to the sea. Olmian, Mayritel, and Bashira, all very influential in their own way. We need to ensure they're freed before we launch a full-scale attack. Husband of the Tree Thane of Woodhearth, Fariel. As good a fighter and tracker as any Wood Elf I've known. Just shows how Paladel caught even the best of us off guard. A respected noble from Somerset. She was on her way to Eldenroot to meet with the Thelmore. You might imagine the problems it would cause if something happened to her. Around here, they call him the Fat Cat. Wealthiest merchant in Woodhearth. But don't think his influence is limited to the city. Money moves, you know. More brave soldiers arrive soon from Marbrook. We will rally them here and prepare to launch a full-scale attack. When your task is done, light the beacon in the lighthouse. That will be our signal to charge in and drive the bastards back to the sea. The Maoma fight as a unit. Like a crew loyal to their ship's captain, the Maoma will follow the commander's orders without hesitance. Remove the commander and they will fall into disarray, at least long enough for our strike to overwhelm them. He's a prisoner of war, so he'll be treated accordingly, of course. Unless he tries to escape, in which case we'll bury him neck deep on the beach at low tide and let the sea decide his fate. The Maoma fight as a unit. Like a crew loyal to their ship's captain, the Maoma will follow the commander's orders without hesitance. Remove the commander and they will fall into disarray, at least long enough for our strike to overwhelm them. He's a prisoner of war, so he'll be treated accordingly, of course. Unless he tries to escape, in which case we'll bury him neck deep on the beach at low tide and let the sea decide his fate. The Maoma fight as a unit. He's a prisoner. Olmian, Mayritel.
Time to do what we do best, yes? This should be fun. Excellent. Many opportunities for heroism, adventure, and thrilling tales after the fact. So, my friend, what will it be? Will you tend to the hostages, or take out their commanders? Ha! Dirty hands for dirty work. Raz will see to our captive friends then. Stay out of sight if you can, or grab Larnill's armor. It's not fashionable, but you'll at least blend in. Always. Raz will see you at the lighthouse when our tasks are completed. Bright moons guide your steps.
mercy! What's going on? Why don't you just kill me? To let me linger like this, it's wrong. Wait, you're not one of them, are you? Where in oblivion am I? Who are you? Vice-Reeve Peladil, that monstrous bastard. He captured us in Woodhearth and brought us here for some evil ritual. He bled us, mutilated us. He ripped out our eyes. Gods, do I even look normal anymore? No, I'm not all right. I'm dying. And it's just as well. It was that bitch, Asteril's sister. She pretended to be Asteril and ordered us into the Imperial Underground. Then the Veiled Heritants ambushed us. They needed sacrifices for the ritual. They were raising Prince Naaman from the dead, bringing him back and imbuing him with some terrible power. Peladil kept talking about how the prince would lead an undead army, but I don't think it worked out the way he hoped. When Naaman came back, he wasn't the same. Sounded like some evil spirit was speaking through him. He spat in Peladil's face, and then he just left. Peladil was furious. He stormed out a little later. That's all I was able to hear. No. My eyes are gone. I'm probably scarred all over my body. Please, I just want to die. All I ask, just make them pay for this.
Send another score and I will smite them just the same. I could cut down sea vipers all day long. Well done, my friend. We'll have the sanctuary back under control quickly now, but we can't stop here. The battle's only just begun. So I had hoped. But it seems Vice-Reeve Peladil has taken to sea even before we arrived. I suspect he may attempt to flee when he realizes his forces have lost the shore. That's why you must go after him. You must ensure Peladil does not escape. Captain Jimala and her crew have retaken the Prowler and she says the ship's fit for action. They're ready to set sail as soon as you get on board. May the winds be at your back, my friend, and may Peladil fall quickly to your strength.
There you are. Impressive work back there. The Maormer didn't know what hit them when our forces stormed in, and I've got my ship back. Of course, the Prowler's been sitting at dock too long. She's ready to pounce on that bastard Paladil as soon as we catch him. And catch him soon we will. You have the captain's word on it. Good. The sooner we're underway, the sooner we can catch Paladil. Raise anchor!
The battle's on! Hurry! They need you topside!
serpent!
Watch out! It's going to ram us. Burn that beast down before it sinks us. Not like that. More incoming. Watch out! Man the fire launchers! Destroy that damnable snake! They are colored. Prepare to repel borders.
will be my vengeance! Damon has the Staff of Magnus. Nothing you can do will stop him.
The Serpent Slayer! You saved the day!
You made it. I was beginning to have my doubts, but I trust that the Viceroy will no longer be a threat. Then this is cause for celebration. Let us return to the shore and share the good news with Major Sirenwe. Are you ready to return? By Joan and Jode, I wasn't sure we make it out of that one, but you never cease to impress. Things are always exciting when you're around, it seems. No, I will stay aboard the Prowler. I miss her greatly when we are apart, so I will celebrate our victory here on deck with my crew and several bottles of moon sugar double rum. You go on. Savor this victory. You certainly earned it.
The Queen must be told of our victory here today. Tales of today's battle will undoubtedly be told for generations. When soldiers of the Oldbury Dominion face impossible odds, they will not retreat. They will say, "Remember the Battle of Seaside Sanctuary," and they will press on to victory. Let us hope. If they do rear their ugly heads again, we will smite them once more. There remains one very serious concern, however. The soldiers we captured say the Viceroy conducted a ritual to raise Prince Naaman from the dead. We have conflicting reports on that concern, but Razumdar is investigating. Regardless, your first priority is to inform the Queen of our victory and this unfortunate news about her brother. Give her this letter. It contains all the details.